Welcome back to our program. I'm your host, Wu Ruiguo. We'll continue our discussion with Ms. Frances Li, who's the Deputy Director General of the Department of East Asian and Pacific Affairs of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Sorry, Ms. Li, earlier in the program I had to interrupt you because we had a commercial break. But now we will continue by asking you to share with us the 3 institutes that you mentioned that were set up between the United States and Australia to combat local regional terrorism.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I would say United States together with Australia, very cautious about the terrorist activities in the Southeast Asia region. So that's why in the year 2006, they set up institutes in this region. Mm-hmm. The first one is U.S.-Thailand International Law Enforcement Academy.
Okay.
The second one is Australia, Indonesia, Jakarta Center for Law Enforcement Cooperation.
Okay.
And the third one is in Kuala Lumpur. They call Southeast Asia Regional Center for Counterterrorism.
Okay.
So I think this institute actually play a increasingly important role in terms of combating terrorist activities. And as of now, we can see some improvements, but still much more attention need to be paid, for preventing further incident or bombing like this from occurring.
Yeah, we also know that a number of the governments in the region have also issued warning against travelers who are now or in the near future planning on traveling to that part of the region. And has our government, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, issued any warnings, in terms of traveling to that part of Southeast Asia?
Yes, as a democratic country, our government pay close attention to the safety of our citizens.
Of course.
For those overseas traveler, of course, my government is very cautious and watch closely about any incident occurred in this region and around the globe. Say the Indonesian bombing occurred on July 17, and my department immediately, reach out, not just our mission in Jakarta, and we also instruct them to conduct some emergency meeting. For incident like this, actually each and every of our mission, they have a so-called contingency team. Once the incident occurs, they will convene contingency meeting. And then every directors and ambassadors, they got their jurisdiction to inform and to contact the local government and to find every way to every information, collect every information, to inform our citizen. And right now, I would like to introduce our system for travel advisory. We can put into 4 levels.
Okay.
The lowest level we call is a gray level.
Okay.
And
gray
then
level.
orange, yellow, and then orange and red.
Okay.
For this different levels, of course, gray area is the lowest level of warning.
That means everything was okay.
Yeah, you have to exercise caution and be alert to your own safety.
Of course.
And for yellow level, you need to exercise high degree of caution.
Okay.
And for those orange level, then you should avoid non-essential trips to those regions. And for those red level, then you should avoid,
traveling there altogether.
Yes, yes.
Okay. And Indonesia is currently
Right now, Indonesia altogether, the whole country is in grade level.
Grade level.
However, at the Jakarta city itself, we already uplifted to the second level, yellow level. Yeah.
Okay.
So then we, according to our previous experience, we will advise our citizens to avoid those places frequented by Westerner or big rally, because say for those protest or demonstration or rally, it's very easily turned violent. So and we will advise them to avoid those nightclub or pubs or bars or big restaurants, something like that. So on the same day, we already uplifted the level of Jakarta city itself to the yellow level.
Yeah, but let's play a scenario, Ms. Li, that in case, for example, I'm traveling on business in parts of Southeast Asia, and somehow, unfortunately, I'm caught in a terrorist attack, or there being a bombing nearby to where I'm staying. What would be the standard procedure that you would recommend for citizens from Taiwan who are traveling in the region when they are encountered, in a terrorist incident? What's the first thing they can do? How can they relate their messages of their own well-being to their family and loved ones in Taiwan? What would be the recommended steps?
I would say, we have an emergency line set up at
all the missions.
Actually, this line is in Taipei.
In
you
Taipei.
Just dial 02-2348-2999. That's 24 hours hotline.
Good.
So if you are in the Southeast Asia region and you found something different, and actually you are in a dangerous situation, you immediately call this line, and and then they will give you the information about our mission. The country you stay there, and there's another emergency line. So you can reach them. That's also 24 hours. So you could reach them immediately. And of course, I think our mission will also put some news on their website. So if possible, check the radio, TV, and all the internet to find more information about how to deal with the situation correctly.
Yes, given the incidents that took place on July 17th in Jakarta, we all know that we live in this part of the world, and we travel and we do business here as well. Then terrorism is still very much a real threat to our regional as well personal security. Given that fact, that Taiwan, we just recently concluded the staging of a first international major sporting event, the World Games 2009 in Kaohsiung. And this is, of course, a very, a huge challenge for our law enforcement officer and also for our national security, people. But, everything turned out to be very safe and to be, well coordinated. There wasn't any, unexpected incidents that would disrupt the staging of the World Games. So given that, how can we in Taiwan, as also a member of the Asian Pacific community, conduct our policy, security policy, not only for the safety and well-being of the people in Taiwan, but also on the regional level, as Ms. Li, you mentioned earlier, about having multilateral collaboration on these issues.
Actually, our government put great emphasis on national securities. And although now we are not a member of United Nations, however, our government actually committed to implement all the resolutions related with counterterrorism. And secondly, actually, our executive yuan already submit anti-terrorism law to Legislative Yuan for consideration. Right office.
Yes.
It's coordinating all
different
the
agencies.
related agencies. And quite often you conduct a large-scale training or exercise, to such scenario, such as the incident occurred in Indonesia, to prepare ourselves. And also, not just for incident like this, sometimes for natural disaster also.
So you need a coordinated, effort at the cabinet level among the different agencies.
Yes, we already set up an office. We call Office for Homeland Security. Yes,
that's terrific.
Yeah.
And we're going to take another short break, and we'll be right back to the Taiwan Outlook, and we'll continue this conversation with Ms. Frances Li, who is the Deputy Director General of the Department of East Asian and Pacific Affairs of Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We'll be right back.